Possiamo
Thank you
cominciare?
for coming on Saturday.
Grazie a tutti per essere venuti di sabato mattina, veramente grazie.
Per lui questo è altro.
Ho letto che è partito tutto dal racconto che lui ha fatto di questo film al suo barbiere italiano, che è lo stesso di Woody Allen. Come è andato? Cioè lei racconta i suoi progetti di lavoro al suo barbiere?
Your hair cutter is important.
Sì, il barbiere è una persona importantissima, quindi ci si confida.
Yeah, it's the truth. It's the truth. He told Woody, and then Woody told him to call me, and then I went to see Woody. And Woody said, "So we share a barber." He's like a secret agent. He's like a secret agent, gigolo.
Sì, quindi è un gigolò agente segreto, un po' la James
You can
Bond.
have sex without taking his clothes off.
Cioè riesce a fare sesso senza spogliarsi, quindi insomma...
That's the whole idea, that it would be like a regular man, you know, to be an unlikely choice.
Eccezionale.
Senti, lei ha lavorato con moltissimi tra i più importanti registi contemporanei, i fratelli Coen, Martin Scorsese, Ron Howard e lo stesso Woody Allen, e quindi vorrei sapere da tutte queste esperienze cosa ha tratto per poi elaborare una sua personale poetica registica. E poi sempre a proposito di registi, lei sarà tra i protagonisti del prossimo film di Nanni Moretti, che secondo alcuni è un po' il Woody Allen italiano. Quindi vorrei chiederle com'è farsi dirigere da Woody Allen e come da Nanni Moretti.
They say that, yes, they said that Nani is the nephew. They had a big thing. They have a big thing in the New York Times. Woody Allen, the DNA of Woody Allen, and all the people he influenced all over the world. That has Nani Moretti as his nephew.
So, what do you think?
But as far as, you know, working with other directors, you learn what people do. You see how they prepare visually, their references, you know, if they rehearse. But in the end, you know, you have to do that yourself and do it your own way. You can't imitate them, but you can learn. And I've learned from a lot of good people, and hopefully I'm able to put that into action. But one thing, the better answer, I think, is to say that, you know, everyone thinks one person makes a movie, and it's not true. One thing you learn from working with directors is to be open to other people. And these two people who are here, Marco and Simona, they have a huge part of the movie. They're a huge contribution, along with the production designer and the costume designer. And really, to make a movie is you're the person who's maybe the leader in a way, but there's a lot of other people who contribute to the movie in a huge way. Many times I was on the set and I was tense, and Marco was like, "Well, you're too tense. You know, you have to relax a little bit and try to enjoy yourself, because you're under a lot of pressure." And you know, there's a lot of people who can help, and there's, you know, the sound person, for example. You know, it's really an important person. Jerry. Yes, we had a guy, Jerry, who. Yeah. No, we can't put in. No, but it's a group. It's a group, and it's not one person. Everyone says, "Oh, one person," but it's not true. You know. So. Well, we worked all together. Simona and Marco insieme, composizione, and Marco was in it, and we finally got to use Tu sei una cosa grande, which we wanted to use in Passione, but we couldn't use it. So, but yes, you know, this is a hard business. So when you meet people that you can work well together, you're fortunate to do that. So, but yes, that was definitely, you know, it was a connection. Yes. I wrote a lot of the movie to the music. Gene Ammons, Dalida, the CD. And we played a lot of the music on the set. So I like to use music prima fotografia. Yeah. And while I was writing it, so it was part of the movie already. It was in the DNA of the music. And then Simona worked very, she's very good with music, so she, we worked really hard to find the right balance of it. So it's part of the movie before I did the movie.
John è molto, usa molto la musica anche rispetto alle diverse influenze che ha nel film, per cui appunto ha usato musica francese. Il film parlava comunque di un mondo ebraico particolare, ma non c'è stato mai, come dire, una musica, una colonna sonora che desse quell'imprinting, perché quello era un carattere nel film, anche se poi diventa un carattere importante. E quindi devo dire, poi John arrivava tutti i giorni con delle musiche moviola pazzesche, arrivava con delle idee incredibili di cambiamenti, provare a usare.
A good example is we tried to do when Abigail is coming to Fioravante's house the first time with Woody, we tried different music, very Hasidic music, Sephardic music, and it was terrible. It was not good because it was too obvious. And then I listened to Dean Martin one day on the subway, and I said, "Oh, let's try Dean Martin." And the Dean Martin and the Hasidim is perfect. Yeah, yes.
Lei pensa che ci sia una carenza di uomini di questo tipo e ci si ritrova? E la seconda è come si lavora con Woody Allen?
Well, I thought that the man in the film, basically, I have a few friends that I used initially, men who are very good with their hands. Basically, I based the character on Marco. No. Yeah, it's the story of Marco's life. He was in Gigolo for many years. But he doesn't want to talk about it. Yeah, and we shouldn't print that. No.
Otherwise.
But I think it's interesting when you watch people, either make a meal or fix a car engine or create a bouquet of flowers. There's something very attractive about that. And I thought maybe it would be interesting to see a guy who was very good physically, but he never ever, and he was comfortable with women, but he never ever made a commitment. But he's a person who actually likes women. And there are lots of men who like to have sex with women, but who really don't like to be with women. They like to be with guys. They're more of a boy, you know what I mean? And I think there are men who are comfortable, maybe because they had a good relationship with their mother or something, and they're relaxed. And so I thought that would be something interesting to explore. Someone who's a good listener and who's comfortable that way, but also is comfortable doing things, expressing himself with his hands, maybe more than verbally. No, Woody was, he just goes like this, and then you say,
Action.
action, and then he just goes and talks and does everything and says all the lines. But he was very easy to direct. Very, very, very easy. We had, you can ask Marco, we rarely ever watched playback.
Yes. Never.
Never. We just did 1, 2, 3, I say, make it more delicate, maybe more serious, a little faster, but sometimes we just did it and we didn't even talk.
The beginning was a little more difficult than that because you don't know each other
That's
so
right.
well.
Right. The beginning was a little harder, the first hour really.
Yeah.
And after the first hour, or 2, we were fine. It was fine. It was he was very easy to direct. Very easy.
Quanto è diffuso oggi il fenomeno delle donne sole che ricorrono ai gigolò?
No, it's not that common. It's not that common. But it does there are men. Usually the clients are older. Yes. But there's men who do it. But it's smaller than the women do the majority. Yes. It's a metaphor, really. In the movie, the prostitution is really a metaphor, I think, in this movie.
Perché cosa? For what?
For people's hunger to connect with another person, to be touched, to be listened to, to be appreciated, to be able to see another person. So it's just because the film really deals with friendship and loneliness in a way. And you can be lonely and even be in a relationship. You don't have to just be by yourself.
Non capita spesso di stare in una chat con Sharon Stone e con Sofia Vergara. Com'è stata la scelta di queste due grandi star hollywoodiane? E raccontaci qualche retroscena di questa scena. Grazie.
First of all, there aren't a lot of roles, believe it or not, for women in movies. There aren't that many good roles for women in movies. That's one. Okay? Because usually every movie has one woman and 20 men. Okay? So that's one. But I thought Sharon was right. The right age for the role, and also I thought it would be interesting to see someone like her doing something that she had never done before, which is to pay for someone to have sex. But Sophia, I thought of because she reminds me of a friend of mine, and she has the same kind of personality, and I wrote the role based on a friend of mine. It's a woman who I know. And it was as far as having, you mean, how was it to have the threesome with them?
E vi ha chiesto com'è stato, insomma...
I lost a lot of weight.
Parecchi chili.
Come ho letto che si è confrontato con Woody Allen anche sulla sceneggiatura prima del film, se gli ha dato un consiglio sulla storia.
I would write, and then Woody would give me his what's the word? Feedback. He would give me his criticism, his brutal criticism. Yes. That's terrible. I don't like it. That's terrible. I don't like this. But maybe I'm wrong, he said. And then, because originally it was just an idea, and I didn't know how I would explore it. You know, it was a lot broader originally, and he encouraged me to make it more sophisticated. I really wanted to have him with a black woman. Yes, I wanted to have him. The only regret I have is that they didn't have a love scene. So that's my only regret. That's my only regret. So, maybe in the sequel. Yes, but I thought that would be. And the kids loved it. I mean, you can ask her. The kids were crazy about it. Yes. They didn't know who Woody was, right? Tell them. They were like, "Who are you?"
Sì, non lo conoscevano e poi hanno stabilito una relazione buonissima e nessuno di noi ci credeva perché lui sembra molto riservato, invece ha giocato spessissimo con me.
He taught them how to play baseball.
E lui gli ha insegnato a giocare a
He taught them how
baseball.
and if Woody would forget a line, right? If he would forget a line, what would the kid do? He would step on his foot. One of the little kids would step on Woody's foot. Yeah. And Woody would say, "What are you doing?" I didn't say the line.
Lei ha fatto un film multietnico e caratterizza il suo personaggio con diversi tipi, ad esempio molto ispanico, molto italiano. Perché ha voluto fortemente inserire questi elementi anche nel suo personaggio dal tipico americano? Ha voluto mettere degli aspetti, magari anche frasi in spagnolo o comunque in italiano stesso.
Well, that's because that's where I live. It's where I live.
È New York, è dove vivo.
If you ride my bicycle around my park, that's the movie. That's the movie. That's exactly the movie.
perché appunto riflette la città in cui vivo, New York. Quando faccio il giro in bicicletta del parco vicino a casa mia, è questa la New York che vedo, quindi vedreste il film, fate un giro in bicicletta intorno a casa mia e vedete il film, quello che si vede nel film.
Exactly that, exactly.
Cioè, perché questa ricerca e scelta di lavorare appunto in Italia?
No.
Mi piace.
In questo periodo di crisi, e credo che c'entri, il cinema ci propone un po' le deviazioni sessuali femminili, per esempio nella sua in forma lieve, no? Queste donne che cercano il sesso a pagamento, poi ora sta arrivando il film di von Trier su una ninfomane esasperata, sempre donna, cioè c'entra, sì.
I'm not like Lars Van Trier.
No, però per dire che in questo momento arrivano queste cose a femminili, perché un gruppo di donne,
My sex is nice.
c'è un gruppo,
Ha detto il sesso di
no, ma
è doloroso e violento, Trier è dolce e delicato.
sì, infatti l'ho detto tutto.
Very complicated question.
È una domanda complicatissima.
Lo so.
Do they want me to be in the porn film? It's interesting that there aren't that many women directors. So most of the time we see films that men direct, you know. But what do I have in common with Lars Van Trier? No, I'm afraid of no.
Ama molto l'Italia, volevo sapere se aveva visto il film di Sorrentino e che cosa ne pensava.
Won the Oscar.
Ha vinto l'Oscar.
No, I think he's a very good director, and I think Tony Servillo is a wonderful actor. A wonderful actor. It was very, beautiful film visually. So, and I've seen some of his other movies too. I'm a very big fan of. I really like the first one, The Consequence of Love. I was a big fan. Yeah. So.
Il presidente degli Stati Uniti qualche giorno fa era qui in Italia e visitando il Colosseo si è lasciato sfuggire questa frase: è grande quasi come un campo, anzi è più grande di un campo di baseball. Lei, se lei facesse una passeggiata da sola dentro il Colosseo, che affermazione farebbe?
Not that one. Was I a Roman or a Christian?
Avrei pensato, ma sarei stato un romano o un cristiano?
Sapere se lei conosceva già il cinema di Mora e che prima di recitare con lui.
Yes, I did. I know many of his films. Yes.
Sì, ne
I
avevi
know
visti
Nani for a long time. It's for like 20 years. I know.
Lo conosce da 20 anni.
Yeah.
Ma veramente la condizione della donna in quella comunità ebraica ortodossa è così come viene descritta nel film?
First of all, in the Hasidic, there's many different sects of the Hasidic community. We chose the Satmar. There's the Lubavitch, which are very different than the Satmar. But yes, I tried to be respectful and also have fun with the community, but I also tried to be respectful. There are people who are happy, and then there are people who have left. But what interested me is, like many religions, it's a bunch of men making rules and to control the woman, and that's what interested me about it. But yes, that is true, that your education stops dopo 18 anni, basta for education. There's no more, you don't, only religious books. Yeah, that's right. But the reason I was interested in that is because it relates to when women first began reading. Because the first women who could read were nuns. They were the first readers of books. And there was a big fear originally across mostly, I think, in Europe and more in the United States, to have women be able to read, because then obviously you would have other thoughts, and so there was a sort of an oppression of not to have women be able to read, and so that interested me. And the first women who could read were the educated nuns. So.
Beh, ma Vanessa Paradiso va a lavorare con Frontiere adesso.
Vanessa Paradiso,
No. He's obsessed with Lars Van Trier. Mi piace Lars Van Trier. I like Lars Van Trier. She loves Lars Van Trier.
He's in the next movie.
Maybe you should be in the movie with Lars Van Trier. We could be in it together. Let's take a picture, we send it to Lars Van Trier.
mandiamo Lars Von Trier, magari mi scrittura insieme.
Say, Lars, this is the next film. Nymphomaniac 3.
Ci sono molte battute nel film che rimangono impresse, molto simpatiche, e a me è piaciuta molto quella su Mick Jagger, per esempio.
Well, Mick Jagger is an interesting thing, because Mick Jagger was prima o televisione con Rolling Stones with I Can't Get No Satisfaction.
Yeah.
They had a close-up of him. I was, I don't know, 10 anni, something. And my father was watching it. He was like, and his mouth was like the mouth was that big. And my father said, I never have ever seen a mouth that big. It's like he's swallowing the audience. And the people think he's so sexy. So I was thinking about that. I was thinking, you know, everybody in real life, in their own life, is the lead, is the star of their own life. Everybody is individual. Everybody has their own sexuality. So many times people find someone sexy once they get to know them. Maybe not immediate, like visually, but sometimes you say, well, how can this person be with this person? Because they're different sizes, but sexuality comes in all shapes and sizes and differences. And some people can be really beautiful and really, really boring. You know, I used to be in an acting class with all models, and many of them could not act at all because they couldn't project from here to here, because their whole life everyone always gave them attention. They never knew how to get attention because they were given the attention. So I thought that's something maybe, you know, interesting, and Mick Jagger kind of represented that, even though he's a famous version of that. But you know, it's interesting because if you think about Woody Allen over the years with all the movies he made, you know, he always was the romantic lead in his movies. And when I was young, when my first girlfriend, she liked Woody Allen, and I was like, I don't know why. Why do you think he's sexy? And then later, when I met Woody alone, I was talking to him, and then Woody was talking to me, and Woody went, and I was like, wow, he's really sexy. I didn't realize it. He can be really, because he's powerful. He has this, but I didn't understand that when I was younger. Woody Allen is going to do a film with Lars Van Trier. I'm going to direct them both in the film.
Lui li dirige, lui è Woody Allen, Lars Von Trier del film. Lui dirige.
Lars has no clothes on and Woody has a suit on.
C'è Lars è nudo, invece Woody Allen c'ha tutto questo bello vestito. Sì.
Grazie, ringraziamo John Turturro.